Heidi, hi, Mummas! Are you ready for the fiery session of the day?
So I gave her the pound and she said, oh, she went like this. And I looked behind me and she said, I can't take your money. And I said, but why? Can't you read me? And I held on to her hand. She goes, no. She goes, I can't read you. And I said, but why? And she said, because you've got to talk to them. And she goes, you know about them, don't you? And I said, what do you mean? She said, those spirits. She said, they're following you. They want to talk to you. And she said, if you don't talk to them, they'll keep pestering you. She goes, you know about them, don't you? And I went, yeah. So she said, you won't. She said, wherever you're working now, she said, you're not going to be working there. And I was running after her. She was trying to get onto a escalator. And I said, but where will I be? Like this. She goes, you'll be flipping burgers in about a month's time. I said, I won't be. I won't be flipping burgers. I said, I'm in number one, doing all this. I said, I run an account in Harrods. I'm not flipping. So she went up the escalator and she went like this. And I went, great. She didn't read me. Anyway, got home. A few weeks down the line, my late uncle, who my son saw, he said, I've got a job for you. And I said, what do you mean? He said, please help my friend. I said, what do you mean? He said, he's only at the end of your road. He said, he's going to match your money and more. And I said, what is it, though? He said, you'll be cooking burgers.
Oh, stop it!
I said, no. Like this, he said, you can literally just walk up the road. And he said, and you'll be doing that. And he said, you'll be making sandwiches and burgers. That led to me running my own business, doing a sandwich round. And I learned how to read people as I was doing the round each day.
Wow. See, look,
how weird is that?
It's like synchronicities,
and
isn't it?
And also about that, like, is everybody's life just written for them before they're on this earth and planet? Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Wow. There's laws within laws within laws. There's no free will, really. Yeah. If you have a snap decision, it's usually them. Wow. When you meet your love of your life, it's like random, isn't it? Sometimes you'll meet your soulmate, you've broken the heel of your shoe, and this person comes up and says, oh, do you want to that's it. Do you want any help? Boom. So I always think they sit on their clouds with their fat cigars going, done it.
Yeah, sometimes this is what I was saying to you, Isla, about when things are supposed to happen.
Yeah,
it happens quick.
Lot about this. Yeah.
I just feel like with us doing this podcast as well, we spoke about it, and we sort of came up with the name, didn't we? And it's all fallen in place.
It's talking about meant to happen,
and we really, really want to spread the word and build that community. I mean, one of the things do you remember I said to you in a reading once? Like one of my things is to help other women with different things.
Yes.
There's a lot of things out there, domestic abuse, they need support. I think women have lost their power, and that's one reading I got from Mother Earth on that yoga retreat was women need to bring back their power.
100%. I mean, I deal with a lot of domestic abuse. One story really sticks out in my mind, and Spirit really did their job here, because there was a lady, I did a group reading, and she was one of the last people I read, and I just suddenly, everything disappeared again. I was still like learning my craft. I still am, really, to be fair. You never stop learning. And I suddenly saw her in a dark blue BMW going up to, my guide said, go up to the north. So somebody was driving. I couldn't quite see him, and they were driving up to the north, and the car, he was going like this to her, and the car span out of control. And I said, are you going on a journey? I said, you're sitting in a blue BMW and you're going up to the north. I said, but my guide is telling me not for you not to go because there's a man hitting you. And her whole face just drained of colour. And she said, I'm due to go to Manchester tomorrow. and it's a blue BMW, and my heart been hitting me.
Wow.
And she said, I have a special needs child of Down syndrome, bless her. And she said, I said, you can't go. I said, you cannot go. I said, because he's going to lose his temper. And I said, the car is going to spin out of control. I said, you can't go.
Wow.
And I said, you can't. I said, the only reason why they've told me this is because you won't be able to look after your child. I said, and your child needs you. It's bigger than him. I said, you have to leave him. And she left him.
Amazing.
So
It was but it took her years, you know, but that was the final straw, and they had to step in to save her, you know. I mean, I've had a lot of domestic abuse. I mean, people that have come to me, there's a big thing in the Asian community where arranged marriages are still going on, you know, and if anybody marries or falls in love out of their culture, it's a big thing. And this lady, Asian, she was only about, bless her, about 20, 21, and she'd fallen in love with somebody who was Jamaican, and so she was on the run, literally on the run, because if they caught her, they would take her back to India and they would marry her off, or worse still, kill her.
Wow.
And so all she did was sitting there, the reading, going like this. And I said, what are you going to do? She said, well, it's a network. She said, everybody knows everyone. She said, I'm on the run.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's really important that you're doing this, because, you know, the balance has to be where we empower ourselves spiritually and be what I call wearing our crowns, you know, our mantles. And then if we are good, we attract the partnerships that we deserve. We attract the level, because we've done our work. Anybody that comes into our field that's not quite right, we're not going to put up with it. It's when you're broken, you put up with it. You go, okay, that's all right. He shouted at me. That's all right. Or, oh, that's all right. He knocked the wall. He punched the wall. So I have clients that say, well, he doesn't shout at me. He punches the wall. I said, that's going to be your face next. You know that.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they say, oh, no, he wouldn't do that. And I said, yes, he would. He's telling you, you know, or anything that's mentally not right. You know, you would empower yourself and not have fear and say, no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
You know, I can't. God, have I been through it? Yes. I haven't been through domestic violence, but I have been through mentally like challenging things, you know, and in the end, you know, my guide has said, you have to, that's it, enough, you know. And I've gone, like, no, I love him, you know, but you can't. You have to love yourself first. You have to love who you are. And then your vibration raises to a point where you think, wow, I actually love myself. If you can look in the mirror and say that you love yourself, that's good enough. Yeah. And then outside of that, whoever comes to you, remember, it's a lesson. So you know, I taught people, be patient, be this, be that, done all that, gone outside, been taught a lesson, and I've lost my, I've lost it, you know, and I thought, oh no, I failed, you know, back to the drawing board. So you get taught all of this slowly but surely. Remember that this is Earth School. This is the bottom run. This is Earth School. We have to learn and be nice to ourselves and be kind. Yeah, it's nothing worse than not being loving to who you are and what you're about. You have to love yourself and not worry. See, when you become, your vibration becomes higher, people come at you. So it makes you question your stability. They will come at you because they don't like the fact that they've lost control over you. So they will start humiliating you or trying to get you back into victimhood. And you're like, hold on a minute. I don't like this, but I've known that person, or, you know, they're a relative or something. You have to distance yourself and say, much love, but I have got to look after me now. Yeah. You know, I've got to love myself enough to do this. And this is where your vibration raises, and then you get your spiritual downloads. And so with your kids, I'm very much into breaking cycles. You know, I have got a terrible cycle because my mother literally tried to murder me. So I've got a cycle that, you know, when I was pregnant, I said to my son's dad, I said, you have to take my son. I knew he was a boy. That was another thing that used to annoy the midwives because they say, do you know what you're having? I say, yeah, boy. And they go, you know, they go, how do you know that? And I go, yeah, I know. Like, you know, but, you know, I had a serious talk. I said, listen, if I have that urge to hurt my child, I said, you're going to have to look after him. You know, we talked about this 20 odd years later, a couple of weeks ago. And he said to me, you're never going to hurt him. And I said, yeah, but what if I do? You have to take him. I said, what if my pathology of my mum, and I can't break the cycle, and it carries on?
Yeah.
But as soon as I saw him, I thought, wow. I thought, how could my mum do that to me? You know, it kind of opened me up.
I really want to cry.
Oh,
Aww.
I thought, how could my mum do that to me? And I just thought, wow. But what it's done with my parenting, if you have been through this, it makes you, I always used to go to my friends, I was so tired, I got cross. And they go, yeah, it's normal. You're just knackered. It's okay. But my cross, I thought, oh God, what if I'm, you know, what if I lose myself? You know, so people who have come through trauma are always questioning whether they're good enough to be parents, you know. So that is a really, you know, this platform can be used for that, you know, just to break down everything. And as it turns out, you know, it's fine. My son, you know, as he was growing up, used to go, oh my God, you're such a hippie mum. Like this, and laughed about it because I used to go, I love you. Like it's like a puppet, you know, puppy. Like, I love you, I love it. Because I never heard it. I never heard it from my parents. And so it was very important to say that to him, so he knew he was loved. I always said it last week. I text him and say, you know, you're loved, have a good day, bye, you know, and all of that. And he knows it. So he walks through the earth, on the earth, like knowing that he's got that platform, no matter what. It's really important. And it's really important as well, I've learned, like, to say sorry to your kids, you know, to break that pathology. If you come from somewhere where doesn't have to be that traumatic, to be honest, you know, if you want to be different and to break any emotional bonds that you felt you can't bring to your children, you have to really consciously break them. But it starts with you. It starts with love. It starts with who you are and what you're about, and then you raise it, and then people, like-minded people, come to you and you form your tribe, and it's really good.
So powerful, isn't it?
Amazing.
I could talk all day with you, honestly. And
honestly,
I think
it's so interesting. One more thing, actually, just wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
You've written so many books, haven't you, Jasmine?
Yes.
You've got a biography about your latest book that you read. Paisley had a part of it.
Yes, Paisley edited it. Thank you, Paisley. Oh my God. You did so well.
But we got it out there, didn't we?
Yes.
What the name is.
Can you tell people about it? Because I actually haven't read it yet, and it's on my to-do list. I really want to read it because I'm really intrigued. Paisley was telling me all about it, and I was like, I'm just going to ask you about it to tell everybody about it now, so we can all have
Okay. So it's called Love, Light and Energy, and I dreamt about it about 3 or 4 years before I actually redid the editing and everything. And the first chapter, the very first paragraph is, the earth was in lockdown. Before lockdown came along, the earth was in lockdown. Yeah. And it was, and I was told to write it. I got all the characters, I dreamt them, and they just kind of sprang up into my head. And my guide said, write this. He said, write this, child. He said, because it's going to mean something. He said, but you have to do it in a comedic fashion and make it really rude. He said, because you have to, there's hidden meanings in it. So he said, write about lockdown and the earth being controlled. I didn't know. 4 or 5 years down the line, we're in lockdown. I was like,
typing it for you, proofreading. I said, Jay, is this is going happen. You were like, oh yeah.
And it did, didn't it? It was like, wow. So yeah, and it's all weird characters. It's all represents the star signs, but in a really weird way. You know, you've got Sagittarius, Callista, all mouth. That's not all what a Sagittarius is about, but they speak up. They speak for their cause, isn't it? If you see anybody the underdog, you're like, I beg your pardon. Like, if you know, you're like, you're there, aren't you? You're fighting your cause. You're here to speak the truth where no one else is. Yeah.
Yeah, get in trouble for that.
Bernard Henry, Scorpio, dark energy. You know, the Scorpions out there, you haven't got the dark energy, but we have like flip sides. Yeah. So Sagittarius, I seek the truth. I need knowledge. Tell me the truth, however bad it is, and I will handle it. You know, I'm on a cause. I need to be free. You know, these are your buzzwords. I need to express myself through my own personality. Yeah. Like, I need to dance. You know, edit that out. You know, I need to express myself. You know, is it the Sagittarius? I speak the truth. The Sagittarian is like, so I learned about each star sign. Yeah. And so we had a little bit of a sentence with each star sign. So you've got, you know, the truth seeker. I travel. I like to travel. So that's it. I like to go to foreign places to learn and bring it back. Saggy. Aries energy. I think with my head first and I don't think. So it's head first. I jump in, ask questions later, and then I think about it afterwards. So an Aries child is like, give me that toy. I don't care. And then they go, but I do. You know, they start crying, you know. So they're very fiery.
Yeah.
And then they get upset if people, you know, start on them because, you know, other kids start on them and they get vulnerable. Taurus kids, they love their food. That's their thing. If you give me food, a nice calm music, something velvety to, you know, touch against my face, I will sleep. It's fine. Yeah, I'm calm. Only very rarely will they flip out. Gemini kids, I talk early. These are the kids that are starting to talk phenomenally early, like very alert, very talk, yeah? Or they're thinking all the time. You know, they're the twins. So 1 minute they're absolutely tired, next minute they're as if night is day. They change. Cancerian children, mum. You know, they're holding on to their mums. Where are you going? You know, that kind of thing. Mum has to carry the child, you know, until they get more confident, or else they go to their dads. You know, that they're very much parental. You know, I don't want anybody else, just my parents. Leo kids, I am here, you worship me. Everything I do is great, you know. But you scratch the surface of a Leo adult and you say to them, God, I really like your hair today. And they go, really? Thank you. Or else it's, oh, I know.
That is
so
so
either or.
Yeah.
Virgos, I have to sort out, I have to mind the store, I have to do details. I have to, as long as I've got details, I know what to do. Yeah, I feel safe. I organise. I keep everything in order. But you'll find the Virgo human, the adult, so they're all really tidy. You open a cupboard and everything goes, falls out. They go, so everything else is tidy.
That's our brother. That is our
really
exactly like that. Exactly like that.
So they're organised in the surface, but they're not real, kind of. Libra, I can't make a decision. So Libra is the scale, so they have to weigh things up. So you ask a Libra, what do you think? And you're dying for someone to go, a Libra to go, yes, you're right. They go, no. And you're like, oh, really? Just say you agree. And they can't because they have to see both sides. So they have to make the decision fairly. Yeah. So all their lives are spent going, was I a bit aggressive then? Or, they're always questioning themselves. Scorpio, I'll get you back.
Yeah.
I'll get you back later.
I feel like that's Iona with karma. Like my past life, I feel like she's like that now. Like whatever I did to my mum, she's done it to me like 10 times worse.
It's a lesson, isn't it? It's a
It's
lesson.
karma. Oh my god, it is.
Yeah, it's really intense. But as they come up, they're the ones that you can really rely on. They're your friends. They're your ride or dies. They will take a bullet for you. They're that loyal. Scorpions get a bad rap, but they're either amazing parents or they're not. They're either phenomenal parents or they're not. Sagittarius I've covered. Capricorn, I have to achieve. So you'll get the Capricorn parent, mother or father, especially at the school gates, the Capricorn, they've got it all sewn up. They've got it in control. You've got the lady, the mother, mother's mafia. We all have to kind of navigate that mother's mafia at the school gates. They're the ones that are in control. They're the ones that their children are well turned out. They are, and what have you, but scratch the surface, and they're very, they're not very confident, but they're high achievers. But underneath, they do it because they don't want people to know about their vulnerability. Aquarius parents, totally batty. Like they will take their children to Steiner schools, because it's different, it's alternative. It's like they like to be innovative. They will homeschool their kids, or they'll be very like, this can't be doing this. You can't teach your children like this. It's got to be different. They're the innovators. They're the ones that like to have group meetings and things like that. They're a fixed sign, so they organise everything. Pisces parents are very much like, let the child be free. That less discipline. That could get into trouble, get them into trouble because the kids are very vocal, they're very free, they're very sensitive, intuitive. So, we've got all of that and more, like in each star sign. So,
and does that really inflict people's personalities and like their universal law of attraction kind of thing?
100%
with their star signs.
100%. So you will, if you've got a moon, say in Virgo, you'll be very connected to Virgos. They will understand you because you've got a kind of a simpatico, you've got a connection. Yeah, your birth chart says the whole thing. Wow. Tells you the whole, it's your blueprint, how people behave and things like that. It's interesting, like, what's going on now with Diddy and everything. I looked at Biggie's chart and how, what happened to him. And it's justice. It's like 28, 29 years. There's a planet, Saturn, that goes right the way around your chart, and it's called a Saturn return. And then the lessons are learned. Like sometimes you'll have a child between 28 to 33, and that's like a turning point for you, And or maybe your Saturn returns a little bit later, and then that's the lessons that you have to learn.
Wow. So lessons learned at different points in your life, depending on like the moon and stuff.
Yes, 100%. Wow. All these planets move around. So, Jupiter is your ruler, yeah? So Jupiter, I call him the corner boy because Jupiter is like, hey, you want some drugs? Do you want some alcohol? Do you want some money? Come on. And he always gives you gifts, yeah? So Jupiter is like, you see it in your lives, you either go, come on everyone, it's a party,
That is definitely me. I'm like,
Used to be me.
And it's excessive, right? and you think, wow, I had a good time, you know, or else like we've got to give, we've got to stand up and give to others. You've got to teach others, you know. So you have the two, and that's your journey. That's what it's meant, you know.
Oh, that's
There's just so
amazing.
much to it, isn't
Honestly,
it? It's not just
definitely.
wishy-washy. It makes sense. Everything you're saying, I can understand, and yeah.
And we definitely would love to interview you again because
Definitely
I know that we're going to get loads of people comment on this because it's just so interesting and fascinating, and it's really good and powerful for people to connect and know about these things. And if they've not connected, just to try and just be open to it, because it could change their life and their circumstances and everything you've said.
Guide them.
Yeah, even with like if they're in a domestic relationship and things like that, just being able to listen and connect inside. And the main thing that you said that is really stuck with me is love yourself, because I think that energy thing of it is that saying, isn't it? Love yourself and everyone else will love you, and it is. Yeah. But in the right way.
Because it's a rock, it's a foundation. When you feel love for yourself, you know when things are not right.
Yes.
You know, when you love yourself, you advocate for yourself first. Instead of saying, yes, I'll do it. And you're going, I can't, because you're exhausted and you're trying to please others because you're so scared about displeasing them, or, you know, revealing something that you're scared to reveal, and you think the whole world is going to stop, and it stops you from putting yourself first. My biggest lesson is whenever there is a funeral or someone passes and someone says they did everything, they were so lovely, they did everything for everybody else, and I think, oh, that's why they're there, because they were ill. They didn't put themselves first. Self-care is not selfish. It's you have to.
Yeah,
100%.
I love that.
It's a good note to end on.
Oh, thank you so much, Jasmine. You're unbelievable. We love you. Check out her books. Rainbow.
Thank you.
So it's Rainbow and Love, Light and Energy.
Yeah.
And was there sunflowers?
And sunflowers, yeah. So Rainbow's is first, Sunflowers the sequel, and Love, Light and Energy.
And they can find you, is it at jasmine.james on Instagram?
Just Jasmine James.
James.
Oh, it could be.
We'll put it all below.
Thank you. You're all.
Can have a reason now.
Yeah, we can have a reason now, both of us.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.